Hello, good morning, guys. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. Um, I'll be doing this top-down analysis on Euro USD, and I'll be showing you the pre-market analysis or the pre-London analysis on what could happen during the London session and the New York session of the day. So, first of all, we start from the higher time frame. So, let's build our roadmap. First of all, we know we are in a bullish market and we had a break of structure, a higher time frame break of structure. So since when we have that break of structure, price has been bullish until price swept a lot of liquidity on the left and tapped into a supply zone on the left, and since then we started seeing price has been rejecting downwards. So we know we have this decisional demand zone over here that broke structure to the upside, and we also have this extreme demand zone that caused that break of structure. We know price could be coming for each of those zones, so that is one thing to keep on the mind on the daily time frame. So there's nothing much to do on the daily time frame as long as we know we have this small high, small low, small high that break this structure, actually swept that liquidity. So price started pushing down, so we just go straight to the 4 hours time frame. Now on the 4 hours time frame, we can see we have another small internal break of structure over here, and this was the demand zone that caused that break of structure. So when price came back into this demand zone, price faced to make a new higher high. Instead, price swept all this liquidity and pushed down again, and now price has just making equal lows over here. So that's one thing to keep in mind. This could now just be liquidity, and price could be coming for those demand zone, right? All right, so price was respecting this supply zone, this 4 hour supply zone right here, and this supply zone was the zone that pushed price to the downside and broke this structure right here, the 4 hour structure. So when we mark our supply zone, we know we could be bearish for now because this demand zone is not showing bullish signs, right? Price tapped into the demand zone previously and it just pushed up and respected that supply, and price has pushed down again, still respecting this demand, but we are not seeing any bullish intent right now. So we know the sellers are in control. So that leads us to just go straight to the 15-minute time frame. So right now, we'll come to the 15-minute time frame. What is there to notice is that we have been bearish and we have been having a mitigation from that supply zone. We have highs, run of liquidity, push down, mitigation, push down, run of liquidity, break of structure, mitigation, break of structure, mitigation, break of structure. So price was very bearish. So last week on Friday, price came and swept all these highs, right? So when price swept all that highs, price started giving that bearish break of structure to the downside right here. Over here we have this bearish break of structure. So after we have that break of structure, we can now mark here as a supply zone, right? This could be our supply zone that price could sell from. So we overall know we are bullish, but right now we are not seeing any bullish intent. We are just seeing that the sellers could be in control, right? So that's one way to look at market structure. So when we go down to the 5 and 1 minute time frame and we started building roadmaps of daily cycle, liquidity cycle, and market structure cycle, so then we know what kind of read we could be having for that day. So right now, when I try to see who is in control, first of all, market started just going bullish. There is no inducement. That's one thing to keep in mind. There's no inducement. Price just doing higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows. So all this could now be liquidity, right? For price to just come into that supply zone. When price tap into that supply zone, you could find in a London trap, a pre-London trap. Then after that London trap, we could see price then change character, mitigate, and we can now target this particular demand zone right here, because this demand zone fails, right? So we can see the demand zone is not in control, right? So this is one roadmap of what could happen today by using the liquidity cycle. So we know we could be having Asian high, Asian low, price just build a trap around the supply zone, then trap early sellers before price mitigate and continue to the downside. Yeah, that's one roadmap. The other roadmap is price could just come into this inducement supply zone, right? Give a London trap, then overall induce to that zone and goes bearish, right? Price could just come and induce this supply zone right there. So that's another roadmap. But the overall roadmap that we could be thinking of right now is there's no liquidity, there's no run of liquidity, the buyers are not in control. This is just the efficiency of the pullback, right? Price is just trending to the upside. So today's trade, according to our analysis, we could already be seeing why it should be bearish, right? So when we just go straight to the 1 minute time frame and we do our final pre-read of the charts and see who's in control. First of all, we know we have this lows, all this order flow over here, higher high, higher low, mitigation, higher high, higher low, mitigation, higher high, higher low, mitigation, and continue to come into the supply zone. So now we can see that the buyers took control from here. We have this equal lows, this run of liquidity, and bullish break of structure, bullish mitigation, and continuation. So right now we can know that buyers will be interested in this zone, right? We know that market structure traders are seeing bullish break of structure. Everybody is buying in that zone. So and secondly, we have this equal highs of Asian session, right? You have this equal highs, Asian session high. That's a lot of liquidity in that high. So and price is yet to reach our supply zone. So it's not ideal to trade. We still have at least a 1 hour 30 minutes before the London session. So my overall idea of today's analysis would be price come into the supply zone and then we could look for sales to come to the downside. There's no reason to be looking for buy right now because the buyers are not showing signs of control, right? So when we go to the 1 hour time frame, just to be clear, you can see that demand zone is forming equal lows. And equal lows, what do we say about equal lows? Equal lows usually gets targeted, right? So this is another way to look at market structure, right? We tap into that demand zone, we push out, break this structure right here. This is the problem with market structure depending on what time frame you are reading. So it looked like this. We swept liquidity, tap into demand, and we break structure to the upside. By breaking this structure, we retrace back into that demand zone. By retracing back into that demand zone, we could now find another break of structure, right? So this is another way to look at it, but this is just the basic way everybody will be looking at market structure, right? Everybody will be interested in buying at this zone right here, because we had a higher high, a higher low. We should go and make a new higher high, right? That's one way market structure traders will be looking at it, but they fail to see who's in control, right? The sellers are in control. How do you know the sellers are in control? We can see price came into that demand zone previously and we started seeing no intent, no bullish break of structure. There's no what do I call it, there's no imbalance. Price was just trending a little bit just to come to this supply and sweep all these highs. So by price sweeping all these highs, price induced those guys, push down, mitigate, and finally broke structure to the downside. So this is the most relevant break of structure that I'm seeing right now. I'm not seeing this as a break of structure. So when you do a market read, you need to find out who's in control in order for market structure to make sense to you, right? Because whatever time frame you are reading, you could be reading it differently. That's why sometimes you see um smart money traders, one of smart money traders are selling and the other one is buying. So depend on what they are reading. I will frame that way for you. So right now we know our roadmap and what we could be looking for. So we just wait for our London trap or whoever should be trapped, right? If for example we have something like this, we have price just started coming into this demand zone, giving some bullish reaction, and overall takes that zone out in the London session. So if price could take that zone out, then this is a smart money trap. Asian high is a smart money trap. So instead of waiting for price to just continue going bearish, then we can be looking for bullishness to take out this zone and come into the supply. Then we can now sell from there, right? This is how I use smart money trap to my advantage. Right, so this is another roadmap of price could just come to all these guys right here. This is why sometimes you see we could be having an analysis and price will be showing you other things. You just need to know the roadmaps of what could happen, what could possible happen. So you react to price action, you don't predict price action. What if price just started coming down, coming into this demand zone? Everybody is seeing a higher high, a higher low. We should go and make a new higher high. So price just come into this demand zone, give them a force reaction, takes them out, takes the overall zone out, takes out this trend line that's forming also because this is a trap. So price will not print this Asian high for us, or even induced, maybe price induced Asian high and price comes down. So a lot of people buying from here, they will get taken out and price will be going to the upside. And a lot of people who are also seeing equal highs, run of liquidity, bullish break of structure of price coming here, they will be seeing seller sign again. So according to what you read, market structure will just be confusing because price is trapping everybody these days. So this could be another roadmap. This could be another roadmap of the day. So we could have something like this. Price just come comes like this. Run of liquidity. Everybody is seeing this run of liquidity and price coming into this demand zone, right? Price coming into this demand zone, giving bullish signs and inducing this zone, and you don't know this zone is not a real inducement, and you cannot be looking for buys to tackle the smart money trap right here because it's not in our supply zone and it didn't happen at a relevant time, right? So you could be targeting this smart money trap over here. Then we could have some trap of price just giving them a small reaction before taking them out, tap into our supply zone before we now look for that sell. So this could be many roadmaps of price of whatever could happen. We don't know, we just react to price action, we don't predict it. We just what do I call it, we look at our roadmap of what could happen on that day and different roadmaps. So whenever we see anyone is developing, already we know what to do next. So as I was even saying, price is already coming into that demand zone that I was talking about. This is not a demand zone, first of all, just because it runs liquidity, break of structure, mitigate and continue is happening in a smart money zone. So this is not a demand zone. Price could just sweep this demand zone and just give you a trap and continue bullish into that supply zone, right? We could buy into that supply zone. So whatever roadmap price print out today, we are already ready and we know what we can do, what we should be waiting for. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching.